All right. Hello, hello everyone. I hope everybody can hear me. Um,
Yes, we can hear you.
all right,
Yes,
perfect.
we
Thank
can
you
hear
very
you.
much, Prosper. Thank you. Good afternoon, good evening. I'm not sure what time it is, wherever you're joining us from. It is morning here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Um, I would definitely like to start by thanking everybody for joining. I'm definitely looking forward to everybody learning a thing or two about the scholarship today, and hopefully that would encourage many people to apply. And maybe just to sort of get some engagement going, if we could maybe post in the chat like where we're joining from today, just to see where everybody is sort of connecting from. So if you can just post your country, maybe the city as well. All right. So I can see Nairobi, Uganda, Ghana. All right. Nigeria, Somalia, Burundi. Okay. Lagos, Nigeria, Banjul. Okay. Okay. All right. So we have people from all over. Oh, there's DRC as well. That's amazing. All right, so let's keep the engagement going. In the interest of time, someone wrote Rwanda very long. Rwanda is amazing. Myself and a colleague were actually there earlier this year. Lovely country. Um, all right, so I think I'll just get started in the interest of time. So I'll start by introducing myself. There's a few of my team members who are also joining us today. So they are also going to be assisting with like answering some questions that you might have in the chat box. So as the presentation is going on, if you have any questions, you can drop it in the chat box, and hopefully one of my wonderful team members will be able to answer. So my name is Toyosi Bangwe. I am the program advisor for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program here at the University of British Columbia. So as a program advisor, I mainly oversee the transition of our scholars when they arrive. But I also help with pre-arrival support, so things like info session, pre-arrival sessions for scholars who are already admitted. So that's kind of like my portfolio. Um, so I'll be the one leading the presentation today, but like, as I mentioned, I do have a few of my colleagues as well who have joined. Maybe they can introduce themselves in the chat box while the presentation is going on. All right, so let's start. So as an agenda, this is what we have um, for the session today. So we're going to be doing land acknowledgements, which maybe for some people it's new. We'll also be doing an overview of the University of British Columbia, and then we can go into some of the nitty-gritty of the scholarship application itself. And then at the very end, we'll have some time for questions, as I'm sure many people would have questions. All right, so land acknowledgements. I'm sure some of you might be wondering, like, what is this? So in Canada, we do land acknowledgements to acknowledge the first settlers in the country. So we call those first settlers First Nations. Some people call them the Indigenous people. Those were the people that first called Canada home before um, people from the outside came in, and a lot of things happened that wasn't so pleasant. But over the past few years, Canada has been on a mission of reconciliation to acknowledge that these were the first people who were here, and many unpleasant things were done. They were displaced from their lands, from their culture. And currently, Canada is currently looking for different ways to reconcile. Reconciliation is a very big part of Canadian history right now. And one of those ways of reconciliation is doing land acknowledgement. Um, and you're going to see this more over the coming months for those who are, interested in visiting or coming to study in Canada. It's something that is fairly established now. So our campus, not just the Vancouver campus, but also the Okanagan campus, we have two campuses here in BC, is situated on the traditional, ancestral, unceded territory of the Musqueam people, which is the First Nations people that I mentioned earlier. And would also like to recognize that many of us today are from places near and far and acknowledge the traditional owners and caretakers of those lands as well. All right, so we'll go into a little bit of facts about the University of British Columbia. Oh, there. Um, so UBC is a global center for teaching, learning, and research, consistently ranked amongst the top public universities in Canada. And the university's vision is really to inspire people, idea, and actions for a better world. And usually when I read this, it just makes me think of the vision of the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program itself, um, which is to raise the next generation of leaders on the continent, many leaders who are very visionary, right? So the vision of the university and the vision of the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program actually align, which makes the program and the journey of being a scholar in Canada even more rewarding, right? So it's very important to note that. And then in terms of like the population of students that we have, so we have a very diverse student population here at UBC. To start us off, we can see the amount of alumni that we have and also the countries that those alumni are from. So once you are admitted to UBC, if you get admitted into the scholarship program, you will be one of the alumni, you know. And an amazing experience to be in such a huge network of scholars, right? So it's very unique. In terms of our student population, so we have over 71,000 students across the two campuses. Um, as I mentioned, we have two campuses here in BC. We have one in Vancouver, which is where all of our scholars will be studying. And then we have the other campus at the Okanagan as well. In terms of international student population, so we have about 16,000, maybe more now, actually, of international students here at the UBC Vancouver campus. And then we have a little over 4,000 of those who are graduate students. And one of the things that really separates UBC from many institutions, not just in Canada, even globally, is the extensive student services and support that we have, which is even more um, for our scholars in the foundation, because you have us and also the other support resources that we have on campus. All of our graduates, all of our students in the scholars program live on campus, and we have fantastic facilities on campus for students as well, which makes on campus like the experience even more rich and rewarding. All right, so now we're going to be talking about the scholars program. So the scholarship funded by Mastercard Foundation is to develop transformative leaders on the continent. We have supported 171 Mastercard Foundation scholars in the last 10 years, and we are hoping to support about 351 more in the next 10 years. So we are sort of so this current um, admission circle would be the third. So last year we had our first. For the second group, they are currently arriving. Some of them are arriving today and tomorrow, but a big group of them have already arrived. And then for you guys that are attending this session, you will be the sort of the next entry in the second phase. So the goal is to recruit 39 scholars annually, 27 of those women, 9 RDP. So RDP is refugee and displaced persons, for students living with a disability. So, and I feel this should come as an encouragement to many of the women attending to this session. Um, there's definitely a mandate to recruit more women into the scholarship. And the thematic focus for the phase two. So we're currently in phase two. Phase one was 2013 to 2023. And then phase two is 2024 to for the next 10 years, basically. So the focus of the state for the phase two is forestry, agriculture, water and land management, and also data science. And the main goal for choosing these themes is for sustainability. So sustainability is a big factor now globally. And then finally, the scholarship is fully comprehensive. So we cover many pre-arrival, from pre-arrival to when scholars arrive, and also post graduation as well. So in terms of the faculties that these programs are situated, so we have three faculties. So we have forestry, we have science, and then we have land and food systems. So we can see for forestry, we have Master of Sustainable Forest Management. We have Master of International Forestry, Master of Geomatics for Environmental Management, Master of Science or Applied Science in Forestry. And that's a thesis-based program, so it's fairly longer than many of the other programs. And then under science, we have the Master of Data Science, which is a very big, it's one of our biggest. And then for land and food systems, we have Master of Food and Resource Economics, Master of Food Science, and Master of Land and Water Systems. All right, so there's a note there that these programs are professional programs, right? That's why some of them are very short, which means they're intense, right? It's only the thesis-based program that are fairly longer because of the research component in that particular program. It's also important to note that these programs are offered in English only. I know we might have some scholars from French-speaking countries. That doesn't mean you can't apply for this program, but it's always important to keep in mind that the language of teaching here at UBC is English. All right, so here are some of the scholarship admission criteria. So having a bachelor's degree, you need to have a bachelor's degree to qualify, must not already have a graduate or PhD degree or started a graduate program of study. So if you want to qualify for the scholarship, you must not have started a graduate or PhD program, right? So I know in the past we've had scholars who have started and sometimes they haven't made that known up front. So unfortunately, students like that would not qualify because you've already started a graduate program. So you must be 35 or younger at the time of application. Citizen or refugee of an African country, require a Canadian study permit to study in Canada. So you can't be somebody who has like permanent residence in Canada already, right? Not be a person who claim or will claim asylum or protected person status after arriving in Canada. And this is very important, right? Because, many people come to Canada for various reasons, but sometimes people decide to change from those reasons of coming to Canada. So we wouldn't want any of our scholars coming into the country and seeking refugee status because that could jeopardize your ability to continue in the program. You must be applying for a graduate degree of the programs mentioned on the previous slide. So that's also very important. We have a very limited amount of programs that the scholarship covers. UBC has many other programs, right? But the scholarship doesn't cover those programs. The scholarship only covers programs that we mentioned on the previous slide. So it's important to note that as well. And as I mentioned in my previous slides, applications are especially welcomed from women, persons with disabilities, and also people from refugee and displaced backgrounds. All right, so here are the admission criteria. So the minimum requirement varies by country, and more details can be found on that link there. So you could maybe take a screenshot for those who are curious and want to know more. Please check out that link to see how The minimum criteria applies to your country. But some of the basic requirements include having completed courses or experience in the area of study. So there are some students that maybe your bachelor's degree was not like exactly related to some of those master's programs that we mentioned earlier. If you have some experience in that area and you're able to prove it, you might qualify to apply. Be in at least the B plus range average or second class upper division, right? Again, folks can look at that link to see how the criteria varies based on their country. You may need to provide language proficiency exam if your undergraduate degree was not offered in English. I think I saw earlier someone from DRC, right? So, and there are other African countries as well where the first language is not English. So if your undergraduate was in a different language, you may be required to take one of those proficiency exams. Academic or character references would be needed. It's part of the admission criteria as well. So please also keep that in mind when you're applying. You might need to start talking to some of your professors, people that you've worked with, that can speak to your character and your ability. It might be good to start connecting with those individuals now. We would also need a detailed resume as well. All right. So I would really want us to pay attention to this page because we're sort of doing something that we've never done before, which is the expression of interest online form. So we've never had this in the past. So it's sort of a new development. So please make sure we are all paying attention to this part. So step one here says complete the expression of interest online form. The online form is going to be open from this coming Saturday, that's August 30th. So the expression of interest form will be reviewed and selected individuals will be invited to apply to the scholarship and sent a link to the online application form, right? So please keep in mind the required document that you would need to upload include transcripts, letters of reference, and your resume. And again, due to high interest, last year we got quite a number of applications. Application will not be accepted past the posted deadlines. In my experience, in my role, I've seen students who have reached out after the closure of application to say, oh, please, can I, still send this in? Can I still apply? We are going to be very, very strict with our timelines. We won't be approving any application past the deadline. So you want to get started as soon as possible. Expression of interest application closes Friday, September 12th at 11:59 PST. Our recommendation is never to leave it till the last day because, things happen, maybe you might run out of internet or maybe the website might be having issues. So it's always good to make sure you don't wait until the last day to submit your application, right? So please keep that date in mind. And then the step two, eligible applicants from the expression of interest will be invited with a personalized link to apply to the program between September 15th to October 15th. So again, the recommendation here is to apply early as application will be reviewed from September 15th. And then I know our program director I believe she's on Zoom. Please, Abby, if you want to jump in at any point, maybe to stress anything, please feel free to unmute and go ahead. That should be fine. So I think I mentioned step two already, and then step three, applicants selected to move to the next step will be invited to apply to their faculties. At this stage, a waiver fee code will be provided to selected applicants, right? So it's important to keep an eye out for that code because some scholars apply and pay, and then they would send us an email like, oh, I paid for my application. can I get the money back, and things like that. So please make sure you're constantly checking your emails, right? So you don't miss out on that waiver code. So the code will allow you to apply without incurring any fees. Um, and as I mentioned, note that refunds will not be provided to applicants who apply without a fee waiver code. I'm assuming questions are coming in. Unfortunately, I can't see them because because I'm presenting, but hopefully somebody is answering those questions. The application deadline for scholarship applicants is November 26th, and that varies from the programs posted online. So for students who are applying to some of these programs that the scholarship covers, um, their deadline might be different from our students who are applying for the programs under the scholarship umbrella, right? So please make sure you keep to all the deadlines as stated. And then step 4, applicants who make it to the next round will be contacted to participate in a video interview, right? And then selected applicants will receive an offer for the winter term. Hopefully that's many of the folks who are attending the session today. So what are some essentials to prepare for a strong application package? And again, I can't stress how competitive this program is. Maybe to give us an idea, last week we had close to 10,000 applications. So that's 10,000 people who applied. And we only admitted about 49 scholars. So you can see the ratio from 10,000 applications to just 49 scholars. So for students who are applying, you want to make sure you're putting in as strong an application as you possibly can, because the competition is very, very high, right? So, but these are some things that we've noted based on previous scholars, things that have made the application stand out. So the first one says, make sure you represent yourself, right? Make sure you're as authentic and as specific as possible, right? Try to project yourself as authentic, right? And not faking. And you also want to be very specific. So you don't want to have too much fluff in your application. You want to go straight to the point and be very concise. You want to highlight your accomplishments and achievements. I know in some parts of the continent, that's Africa, like people don't want to, like you don't want to blow your horn, if I may use that word, because you want to be humble and things like that. No, on this application, you want to blow your horn as loud as you can. Of course, you don't want to say things that you haven't done, but because of the level of competition, you want to try to make yourself as stand out as possible. And then finally, you want to be truthful, right? Because if you say something that is false on the application and you make it to the round of interviews, you're going to be exposed, right? So you want to be as truthful as possible. References are also very important. So we need 2 references, as I mentioned earlier. You want to make sure you choose references who know you well and can speak to your academic abilities, leadership potential, character, involvement in the campus community or your community at large. And some examples of these references could be your teachers, employers, or community leaders as well. So the foundation is not only looking for brilliant students, right? So we want to see people who also have leadership potential as well, people who have character, you know. So those are things that are equally as important on your application. You also want to provide your references with enough time to write a thoughtful and detailed letter. You know, I mentioned earlier that for some of you, you want to start contacting your references from now on, right? You don't want to leave it till maybe a few days before application closed and then you put your references in a bit of a pinch, right? So one of the references must be academic. They must be able to speak to your academic abilities. And then the other could be, you know, as I mentioned earlier, employers or community leaders as well. Please make sure the reference letter is on a letterhead and it's on PDF. This is so important because in previous applications, we've seen people who they just take a screenshot of a reference who had handwritten a reference letter. So that's that is not good if you're competing with, you know, that many students for the scholarship. So you want to make sure the reference is on a letterhead, it's on a PDF, and you know every part of the letter is scanned. We don't want the letter that's on a PDF, but half of it you can't see it because it's not scanned properly, right? So um we live in the world of AI now, right? Everybody uses AI, you know. So you want to, as much as possible, I know some people will still use it, but as much as possible, you want to avoid the use of AI because you want to stand out, right? Even if you're using AI, you can use it as a guide, but don't use it like word for word because we've seen applications like that as well, right? So please, if you're using AI, use it like intelligently, you know. But if you can avoid it, please go ahead and do that as well. And then for applicants who get to the interview phase, you want to avoid reading scripts during the interview, right? Because it just doesn't look good when you're being asked a question and we can see that you're reading from a piece of paper, you know. I mean, once in a while, it's okay to have a guide to help your process of thinking of answering questions, but you don't want to be reading like off a sheet of paper, you know, during the video interview. So be genuine, you know, and come off as authentic as possible. Let your personality shine through, you know. And there are many of you are like super brilliant, super talented, you know. Sometimes people just tend to hold back a little bit. But please shine. Let your light shine. That's the goal. So these are just some examples of like really good uh, resume templates. And these templates can also be found on the UBC website as well. Like if you look up UBC resume templates, you should be able to get them. And you can always edit and adjust as you see fit. Because resume, the way you put your resume together is very important as well. Because we've seen some resumes that are not well done. And there's nothing as sad as seeing a student that is smart, they've done really good work, but for some reason their resume is just not good enough, you know. And again, as I mentioned, the scholarship is super competitive. So every little detail counts. Your resume, your reference, everything counts. You want to make sure your application is as strong as possible. And again, our website is always a very, very good resource. We constantly update it. So for folks who might have questions or you want to know more about application timelines, many of the things that I've covered today can actually be found on the website as well, right? So please, as much as possible, use the website as a resource to prepare your application, make sure you're keeping up with the deadlines and any other questions that you might have. We have many videos on the website as well that can also help you prepare for application as well. So spend some time, you know, watch those videos because the reality is every little thing you do now to prepare your application is an investment. You need to see it as an investment, right? So do everything that you can do to make sure you're putting in a strong application. It might be time consuming, you know, nothing good comes easy. You have to put in the work, right? So all I'm saying is just please make sure you utilize the website. Even this Zoom that we're currently having is being recorded, and we're also going to be posting it on our website as well. So if you have friends that you think might qualify or might be interested, you can send them the link to the website to watch the videos as well. And I think that's everything that I had today. I don't know if Abby, are you on Zoom? Are you able
Yes,
to?
I'm here.
Okay, all right.
Hi, everyone.
Touch on anything?
Thank
Uh,
you, Abby. Hi.
yeah, I've been answering a few of the questions on the chat, but if you have questions at this point, please put up your hands and Toyosi would call you and then we can go through your questions.
Right.
But if it's a question I've answered on the chat, let's try to give opportunities for some of the newer questions. So I would suggest you don't ask those if we've answered them on the chat. Ogunade, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I'm Ogunade to from Nigeria. My question will be posted on the chat, but now that you're giving me the time to ask, I'm short. Yeah, last year I submitted an application. I made it to the round of one. The process of getting what was it called? Securing a supervisor, but then I couldn't get one, so I couldn't scale up to the next round. So I'm asking, can I make use of my letter of reference for this year application? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, that's a good question. So I think the easy answer is you can. But also if my suggestion is if you can get a recent one, do. If you can get one that is even better than the one you used last year, please do. Because the thing is, the cohort that applied last year is different from the people applying. And we wouldn't necessarily be considering it because, you made it to the round one. We're looking at all the applicants and measuring what we receive based off on that. And so if you can get a recent one, like a more detailed one speaking to your leadership, community, volunteerism, I'll suggest you do. I see in the chat that you applied for the thesis program, which means you were trying to secure a supervisor. So with those applying for the thesis program, what will happen is after you apply and then you make it to round one, we will share with you a list of, the supervisors. And so what I would suggest is also read about those supervisors. It's very easy to find out about them, their research focus, etc. And make sure that when you are speaking to them, you have that context. Your research focus is aligned because when it comes to thesis, it has to be a supervisor and student fit. And so the supervisors would then recommend whoever they want to, supervise. They would send us a confirmation, and then you would also send us the confirmation they have given to you, and then we can move you on to the next round. So I think if you're looking for a supervisor, you have to do the work of understanding their research focus so that when you're speaking with them, you are aligned. I hope that answers your questions.
I think it's Jimmy next.
Jamie, go ahead.
Yeah, Jimmy Oluwasegun, are you able to unmute and ask your
Jimmy,
question?
okay.
Yes, thank you very much. Good day to you both. Thank you very much for this wonderful session. My question is straightforward. You gave a breakdown of the different allocation for this year's or this particular cohort's scholarship. Could you please run over that again? Because I heard a particular number to females, displaced persons, people with disability. Can you run that over again, please?
Yeah, so the numbers is we admit 39 every year. The target is 70% of that group should be women. 25% should be RDPs, and then 10% should be disability. I'm stressing on the fact that those are targets. We still look at the people that are applying to see who deserves to get the scholarship. And so don't really, I saw a lot of questions. Don't really bug yourself with what that breakdown of the number is. Those are targets. And in one particular year, maybe we would have lesser women than 70%. And in another year, we would have more than overall. At the end of this phase, we are looking forward to, or we are targeting 70% women, but it differs from year to year. So you can still apply and shoot your shot. Yeah.
All
I hope
right.
that answers your question, Jimmy.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome.
So we'll have Blessing next. Blessing, please unmute yourself and go ahead. Blessing Fanny B.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Blessing from Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead, Blessing. Please go ahead with your question.
ask a few questions, even though I'm very sure in
Oh, you're breaking, Blessing. For some reason, you're cutting
information
out.
at our disposal about. You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Hello.
now. Go ahead. Yes, go
Okay,
ahead.
so I was saying that I said majority of us now must have actually been, because of the got now about the breakdown of all of these things. But of course, it's normal. Is actually the simple truth. But I just want to ask that why is it gender sensitive? Then two, does it allow for postgraduate work permits? Because I think I'm aware that the program is just for maybe 8 to 10 months. So does it allow for postgraduate work permit? And that is second question. Then third question, I don't know if this is right here actually, because there was okay, this particular Mastercard Foundation scholarship program too. I think I submitted an application, was it last week, at McGill University, and till now my referees has not gotten any feedback from them, so I don't know what's up. And the moment I saw this on LinkedIn, I said let me shoot this one as well. I don't know if it's all right for me to chase that and chase this as well.
Okay, so the first
Thank you.
question was around why is it gender sensitive? Unfortunately, we don't determine that. It's the scholarship that determines that. It's the funders of the scholarship that gives us those mandates to meet. You realize that in the first phase, the focus was different from this phase. So, and if you go to every other university that has the Mastercard Foundation scholarship, it would be different. And so we don't determine that. That's determined by the funders. And they decided that with this phase, it should be gender sensitive. And the whole idea is to give more opportunities to women who are the focus for, the funds they've received from their funders as well. So that's the simple answer I can give you on that. Does it allow postgraduate work permit? Because IRCC's policies are always changing. Unfortunately, because I'm not an immigration advisor, I can't advise on that. But what we do is once you're selected, we would assign you an immigration advisor who can answer every immigration question. But I would also advocate or encourage you to research that on your own from IRCC's website to understand what programs give postgraduate work permits. I want to say yes, but because I'm not an immigration advisor, I don't know the intricacies or what it involves. And so we are not the right people to answer questions around work permits and all those. What I can assure you is you would have immigration advisors dedicated to you who would support you, first of all, in securing a study permit to study, and then also supporting you moving forward regarding whatever permits you are looking to apply for. And the third question was, you've applied to McGill. You are wondering if you can apply here. Yes, you can apply. Just make sure some of the mistakes we saw last year, someone will write an essay and then we will see, I am interested in applying to McGill because make sure this is UBC. You are separating your application from McGill from the ones in UBC and you are making your referees aware of that. If you are with UBC's application, the referees can't send in their reference letters. You have to receive them and upload. And so when you receive them, read through them, make sure that they are not mentioning another university in there, because that's automatic disqualification because it means you're not paying attention to details, right? And so make sure that you are uploading the right documents because once again, it's very competitive and any slight, indication that you didn't pay attention to the application you are submitting can jeopardize your chance of getting in. I hope that answered all your questions.
All right. Thank you, Abby. So going forward,
sorry. I'm really sorry, please. I actually want to know what's it called? How long does it take the university or the scholar program to send mail to our referees? Because I've been wondering. I submitted
We
the
don't
one for
send mails to referees. That's what I said. You have to upload them yourselves in your application. We don't send email to referees.
wow.
And
And
that's
that is for
us.
UBC. I can't speak for McGill, unfortunately.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
speaking to UBC's application process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you should probably try to connect with someone there, Blessing, if you can. Because sometimes our processes are just different, right? It's not the same university. What I was going to say is, if we can limit our questions to just one per student, that would be great. So we don't, because there are many more people raising their hands. So please, one question per student. Temitayo, please go
And
ahead.
if your question has already been asked by someone, you can also lower your hand so that we can move forward, because I see a lot of hands raised and we want to get through as many questions as possible. So let's not duplicate the questions.
Yeah, Temitayo, please go ahead. Temitayo.
All right.
Oshie.
All right, sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for this privilege to enlighten us on this Mastercard Foundation for Scholarship Program to the UBC. So my question goes this. You mentioned that this year's application process is quite different because there was going to be an expression of interest before they will be reviewed, and those who get past that will not be sent the link to apply properly. So I want to ask that in the expression of interest form, would that be requiring or be needing the application materials like the transcript, the resume, or it is after they been reviewed that we cannot submit those stuffs? Because
I
currently,
think I answered this already in the chat. No, you don't need your references and resumes for that one. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you. Gad Okodi, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, good evening from Uganda.
Good evening.
Yes, I have a question. Actually, I've just completed BS in forestry here in Makerere University, Uganda. So, I would like to apply for MSc in forestry research based, but I have a question. There's a confusion there. I have just completed my undergrad for research project, but it's not yet uploaded in the portal, meaning if I'm to apply for this MSc research base, it will be without the research project on the portal. Now, in that context, do I qualify? Does that application need a research project or not? That's my question.
Okay, that's a good question. So, couple of things. If you have when you're applying and if your official transcript or certificate is still not in, number one, you can upload your unofficial transcript. But then through your essays and statements, as well as there would be an opportunity for you to justify how you meet the requirements of the program, I would recommend that you state some of those you've done. Another way you can also cover that is if you are doing your reference letters. For example, if you have one academic one, you can let your research supervisor speak to the research you did so that it sort of cushions whatever application you are submitting. When you also make it to the round where you are connecting with the supervisor, then you can also share about that research and the details with them, just for them to know, even before your what's it called, your official transcript comes. So the thing is, for everyone applying, if your official transcript is not yet in or your official certificate is not yet in, you can use the unofficial one. But then you would be given an acceptance, a conditional acceptance for you to later send to your program or to the university your official transcript. So you can all apply with your unofficial transcripts. I hope that answers your question.
All right, I hope so, Gad. Prince, I can't pronounce your last name, sorry. You can go ahead, Prince.
Yeah, that's Prince Jagbe. Hi, everyone. joining from Ghana. I just want to find out, is there a going back home clause in the offer that you get from UBC? When you're done, are you required to go back to your home country? Thank you.
So, yeah, that's a good question. So within UBC, the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program, the key thing we say is give back. We don't say go back. And there's a difference. Wherever you are in the world, you should find ways to give back to your community. That's the most important thing. You are going to tell us through your application that the reason you want to take this scholarship is because you want to do A, B, and C, right? And so when you are done, even if you decide that, I'm going to Europe or Australia or to another African country, there should be ways where you are, what's it called? Actively making the efforts to give back. And so we don't say go back, because, especially with immigration policies in Canada, if you receive a work permit, we can't, force your hand to go back, right? But we encourage people to always find ways to give back to their community. And so that will look differently for different people. But I think that also shines through when you apply and we read your essays. So you don't necessarily have to go back. But I think it's important for you to give back to the continent and to the community that has given so much to you to this very point. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
All right. Dinu Marie Claire. Dinu, can you unmute and ask your question?
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Marie Claire. I'm from Cameroon. I had a question with regards to the scholarship itself. In your experience, what are the key qualities or experiences the scholarship committee is looking for in like a successful applicant? And for the forms that are going to be released on the 30th, do we have a particular things like maybe a list, I don't know, that could just help us know exactly what we're going in for? Maybe we can start preparing or something. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it sounds good. So the first question is what would make a candidate successful? And there are a couple of things. Now, when you read through our page, we talk about, the fact that we're looking for transformative leaders. One of the really big things, and I saw a lot of people asking about first class and all those, is what are you doing within your community? How are you already giving back? And how will securing this scholarship help you to further do that or expand on those initiatives and things you are doing? So we're first looking at that. We're looking at how motivated you are, because if you weren't frankly doing anything in your community and you leave, it will be very difficult for you to do anything now that you are far away from the community, if you get it. So leadership, community, volunteering are really big things that we look for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. Apart from that, I think when we look at your application package, it should tell a story as a whole, right? Sometimes you read someone's application, their background is in medicine. They said they are doing a project in data, and then they are looking for a program in forestry. So for whoever is reviewing the application, it's very difficult to tie it all in, right? It should be a story. It should tell a journey. You started this. This has been your experience. This has been your passion, and it's leading on to the next thing you are looking for. And so it should tell a story as we look through your application. The other thing is be authentic and genuine. It would interest you to know that sometimes we can tell when people are telling lies or when they are selecting things that are not real. I will give you an example. There were some people that said no, that they don't have masters, and later in the application or in their references or in their essays or resumes, we see that they have masters, right? That ultimately removes you from being qualified. So be authentic, because some way, somehow, it comes through. And the hallmark of a transformative leader or a Mastercard Foundation scholar is integrity. So I would urge all of you to, tell the truth in your application, because we also reserve the right to rescind it if we find out later that you weren't telling the truth. The other thing I would add also is the fact that last year, so I was answering questions, and last year there were so many essays that were alike because they all took the question, put it in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT wrote it for them. So we were reading about 200 of the same essays. Automatically, you are out, right? Because it's not authentic. So write your authentic story. When you are doing the videos, we've taken people who fumble over versus people who were fluent, because you can see the authenticity shine through in their videos and everything. So be your authentic self. There were some people who say, here is your answer. Then the answer is there. Let me know if you want me to modify this. You see, when you said ChatGPT, that's prefix that come. They left it there. They just copied everything and put it in. Like, who are you lying to, or who are you kidding? Even if you wrote that essay and then you asked ChatGPT to polish it for you, just by seeing that, the reviewer is going to, take you out of the people they are considering. So please and please again. And finally, make sure you understand UBC, the scholars program, the program you're applying itself, because some people write their personal statement and you're like, do you actually even know the program you're applying for? Because they are saying something else. So spend time. Don't just be in a hurry to submit an application because you are doing so many applications. Spend time to make sure you are intentional in the application you are submitting, and that you've put a lot of work in making sure that you stand out. Remember, it's so many people, and so at some point, it's down to the minimal things. It's down to the very, very minimal things. Regarding the expression of interest, basically, it's a simple questionnaire form which you're going to fill. What's your name? Where do you live? How old are you? All those kind of questions. There are no essays. And there's a lot of verification. So, for example, if you tell me you were a refugee, you have to upload a refugee status document, right? So, it's you are expressing your interest to apply, and then if we find you eligible, we would send you. So you're going to answer questions that are around the eligibility points we have. And so if you meet the eligibility requirements, you don't have to worry at all. Yeah, there are no essays, there are no references for you to fill. That will come later when you receive the invitation to apply.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we'll take another reminder. Please, let's keep it to one question per student, please, as much as possible. Abdurrahman Umar, can you unmute and ask your question? Abdurrahman? Is Abdurrahman there?
Yes, Abdurrahman is here. I'm sorry for the delay. Hello, everyone. A little bit seriously, I have a few questions. Please do not take offense. So the first one is, personally, I graduated.
So you know what, Abdul, ask the first one, and then we'll go through everyone, and then if there's more time, we would ask, or you can put the others in the chat. Some of the teammates can answer it. Let's just keep it to one, and then we'll run through. Yeah.
All right, go. Okay, so I graduated around 5 years ago. But I did not study within the country where I currently reside, and I do not have a lot of I do not currently have contact with some of my lecturers in school. I was wondering if it was possible to use perhaps 2 or 3 professional references, since I've been working for the past 5 years, for example.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's no hard and fast rule. But then the challenge with that, when you get to the faculty level, you will still need the academic one. So usually if you get one academic and one professional, it's easy for you because by the time you are applying to the faculty, you can use the same tool to apply. Because you remember, we have just a short window for you to actually apply to the faculty. So it's better for you to start working on those now. And then once you get it, you use the same one. Because I can tell you to use 2 professional ones, but then you will still have that challenge when you're applying to the faculty, and the faculty needs 1 academic at least. I hope that answers your question.
All right. Mariam Adeshino. Mariam Adeshino, can you unmute and ask your question? Please, let's keep it to 1 question. Is Mariam there?
Yes, good evening. Good day, everyone. Yes, I'm a graduate of Animal Production, Faculty of Agriculture. So I was now contemplating that will it be a good fit for me to apply for any of these courses relating to forestry, considering the fact that I have background in general agriculture.
So if you have a background in general agriculture, what I would suggest is go and read through the forestry programs and see what the prerequisites are to see which ones you qualify for or you have prerequisites for, because we might pass you for the scholarship, but if you don't meet the minimum requirements for the program you apply for, you would lose that chance. So make sure you've done that basic work. And when you go to our website, the first thing is decide the program you're applying, even before the scholarship. Decide, make sure you meet the prerequisites, you have the minimum requirements, because last year that was the issue. A lot of great applications, they chose the wrong courses, and by the time they applied to the faculty won't change the course for you because you chose the course you're applying for. So make sure you get that one right. Spend some time on the program's website.
All right.
I hope that answers your question, Mariam.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. Okay. Israel.
Hello?
Israel, you're next. Israel Adesoye.
And if we've already called you or answered your question, please lower your hand so that we can see those we're still calling. Israel, go ahead.
All right, thank you for the session. Yeah, my question is still on your target being women. Is it that you must meet those targets every year, even when I, as a man, applying and I have a stellar application than some of the women? Or generally, are men encouraged to apply? Just
Everyone is encouraged to apply. We don't necessarily meet it every year. In the first cohort, we had 10 women and 20 men, right? We don't necessarily meet it every year. It's the profiles of the people applying, but we are encouraging women to put in, because usually the men, even when they don't qualify, they are applying, but the women, they don't even apply. You would see an application, you are watching a video, the man is reading a script, and then you will see a woman who is like struggling to even put words to it. And so we are encouraging women to apply. Israel, this is not an agenda against men. Everyone is encouraged to apply.
all right,
But
thank you.
the funding is just encouraging and prioritizing women. That's it. Next question. Okay, if you have a question about the targets, women, men, please put down your hand. I won't answer any of those because I've gone through it a couple of times. Let's just give the chance to others to also ask questions.
Hello?
Don't be discouraged about the fact that we are encouraging women. If I know other women, I would encourage them to apply. If you have sisters, encourage them to apply.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, Abby. So we'll go to
Yes.
Judith. Judith, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Please, until I call your name, please do not unmute. If we can all keep our audios muted. Once I call your name, then you can unmute. And please, let's keep it to 1 question, please. Judith, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much. My question is about the length of the programs. You said unless it's an MSc, the course is 8 to 12 months. And I'm asking what the Master of Food Science is, because on the website, it's showing like it's 2 years, and I don't know if it's an MSc or not.
No, it's not 2 years. Just double check you are checking the right one, because it's a 1-year program for Master of Food Science at UBC. So all these programs are professional programs. When you go to our website, there are links to make it easy for you. So click on those links and double check. It's not 2 years. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sadia Mohammed. Sadia, please go ahead and unmute. Sadia? Okay, if
Yes.
Sadia, oh, okay. Jubril, please get ready. Sadia, go ahead. If Sadia can unmute.
Okay. Thanks a lot. In short, I'm going to inquire you about application process for international students. So, I'm senior currently in my last semester. My bachelor's certificate will not be issued until after the application deadline. So I would like to know if it's possible to apply with my current academic transcript, or if there are further requirements or challenges like that. Thanks a lot.
Yes, so you can apply with your current transcript, but make sure that by the time you are admitted, you have the official one to send to the university, because you'll be offered a conditional acceptance, which means that until they receive your official transcript, you are not really accepted. Does that make sense? So you can apply and get accepted, but then by the time you're accepted, you should have the official transcript. Sadia, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right, Jubril, please go ahead. Abdul Baki, you're going to be next. Jubril, go ahead. We can't hear you, Jubril. I think it might be your audio.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please go
Yes,
ahead.
we can hear you. Go ahead.
So my question was about I have a background in humanities, but then again, I have like skills, when I mean postgraduate skills on data science. So I was asking to know if I can actually switch from my background in humanity to applying for a program in any of the available courses. That's my question, sir.
I have a task for you. Go and read about the data science. I have the answer for you, but I want you to go and research about the data science program. And once you know that, it would let you know if you can apply or not. You need to read about the program, and then when you are done and you're applying, tell us how you meet those requirements. Does that sound good?
Okay, you mean despite my social sciences background?
When you go to the data science program website, you would have the answer written there. So go and do that. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All righty.
All right. I think more people should get homeworks like Jubril. Abdul Baki, please unmute yourself. Ulushola, you're going to be next. Please go ahead, Abdul Baki.
Thank you very much for the opportunity and for the enlightenment. I really appreciate this. So my question has been answered to some extent from a previous questionnaire that asked about referencing. So I still want to further my own question in that regard. So after my graduation, I served at a university here in Nigeria, so which has given me the opportunity to relate with some other professors outside my university where I did my undergraduate journey. So my question now is that with my relationship with them, I've been able to like enter into research, paper writing and everything. Can I use them for my academic reference? Because they can speak well into my expertise in research and...
Yes, you can. And while I'm speaking to academic, let me talk briefly about the academic reference. Last year, we received a lot of references that said, this is to confirm that Abdul Baki has graduated from our program. Signed, Dean. That's it. right? Even your academic reference should go beyond just telling us that you graduated from the program, you were top 5. That's like what over 5,000 people are submitting. Make sure you have a relationship with the professor. Let them talk about things you did, positions you held, initiatives you took, how you volunteered. So don't just write that you graduated from the school. We know everybody graduated from the school. They are bringing the academic reference in. Let them speak to your leadership, community, volunteering, how you are being a transformative leader in your community. So, Abdul, your short answer is yes, but for others, there's more to do with academic references than what you've been submitting. Don't sit somewhere, pay, and get a generic reference letters. Make sure it goes into detail.
All right. Olushola, please unmute. Oswald, you're going to be next.
Good evening. I'm Adebayo Shola. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes.
you. Good evening.
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity to be on the platform. So I just want to ask a quick one about the essay, personal statements, and other things. I just want to be familiar with it because it's my first time and I'm trying to apply for a Masters of Geomatics and Environmental Management. So, and I just want to be sure I'm preparing for the right things and doing it at the right time. So I just want to ask, what are other things that are actually needed so that I can, put them in place aside the essays and the personal statements?
Yeah, so, and you can find all the details actually on our website. So apart from resume, transcript, references, and the essays, I think those would be the major things. And yeah, so couple of things with the essays, make sure, the earlier the better. Last year, we saw people apply. We review the moment we receive your application. On the last day, that's when people were calling us. Can you mute Modupe? That's when people were calling us. Sorry, I thought you said you is 11:59, but is this in my country? Just submit it early. So write your essays early. Some of the things, and I know people who applied the first time and got it. So Lushola, you can get it. You can get it the first time. You just have to be strategic. Go to our website, find the names of alum and current scholars in the MGM program. Write to them, reach out to them. Their LinkedIn is there. Tell them, hey, can you review my essay for me? Find other friends, let them review it, let them give you feedback. Work on your essay and polish it, because you know what? It's going to be a short paragraph. It's like a 1-paragraph essay. We're asking you a question. Tell us about what you've done in your community. And you can write 2 pages for it, but we are telling you we want a paragraph. So how do you push all of that into 1 paragraph? You need to start early and then really work through cutting the fluff and all those things. So I know for a lot of the scholars and alum we have, they are always ready to help. Reach out to them, and don't reach out to one person, reach out to so many. Let me tell you an interesting thing. I was once a Mastercard Foundation scholar. What I did was I reached out to every person who was from my country on the page. It didn't even matter the program they did, because I know that, first of all, we have something in common, right? And, some of them gave me their numbers, some of them reviewed the essays. I got so many perspectives from it that shaped my own essay. And I think that's what made me successful. So reach out to people from different countries, but doing your program, but also people in your country. You can be, I'm gonna assume you're a Nigerian. We have so many Nigerians. This year I say I will reduce the Nigerians, but I see there are so many Nigerians on call. But reach out to the Nigerians, be like, my guy, please help your brother. They would absolutely help you. They are willing to help. So leverage them to get feedback on your essays. There were so many things I wrote. I thought it was important. And a scholar told me it's not necessary, cut it. And then I did. So they will be able to guide you as well.
All right. Oswald, you're next. Arafat, please get ready. Oswald, please go ahead. Unmute yourself.
All right,
Yes,
thank
yes.
you so much. Hello everyone. So
Hi, Oswald.
my question is about people with disabilities. I want to understand is there any specific disability that is not allowed? Like for example, not allowed per se, but that is not encouraged to apply. Like for example, people with chronic illnesses. Are they encouraged to apply, and what sort of help do they get, and what sort of communication should they mention maybe before they apply for the program? Thank you.
So the short answer is, Oswald, everyone is encouraged to apply. No form of disability should discourage you from applying. Now, on the actual application, we would have definitions of what disability is and examples of them, or the different categories for you to see. So I know there's physical impairment, invisible disability, there's ongoing medical conditions. So there are different forms of it, and everybody is encouraged to apply. The moment you get the scholarship, we would support you through the journey from leaving your country, getting your visa, to graduating. So we are committed to supporting regardless of what the disability is. It shouldn't discourage you from applying. In fact, we are welcoming your application. So don't say that, oh, maybe when they say disability, they mean this one. I can't apply because I have this. Everyone is encouraged to apply. When you apply and you get to the disability question, choose it and also provide, if you can, it's very voluntary, provide details. It doesn't take you out. It just makes us get the support you need beforehand if you're going to join us. So that's why we have those questions there, but everyone is encouraged to apply. Okay. Are we still within time? Because I see 16 hands up.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to be able to get to everyone. So we are going to be done in a few minutes. For those who might have more questions, please go on the website. Everything we are talking about today is literally on the website, right? So if we're not able
But
to
also, you can put it in the chat, and then we have a few program staff on the call so they can answer them. So maybe Mariam, Comfort, Alpha, because you are really down below, start asking it in the chat, and then our team can answer it for you. Arafat, go ahead.
All right. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity. I applied last year, and unfortunately, I couldn't even get to the interview stage. That is the second stage. So my question is, with my two reference, both of them are lecturers of my department, and both of them, one of them was my patron of my leadership at Economic Students Association president, and one of them was also my patron at another association. Can both of them write for me, one for academic, one for community, or they can just mix it for the referencing?
I think if they can speak to all the things we've mentioned, then yes, they can write it for you.
All right. Thank you.
Taiwo, please go ahead and unmute. Amina, you're next. Taiwo, please, can you unmute? Taiwo Fatomilola. All right, we can move over to Amina. Amina, are you there? Are you able to unmute?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay, so I have a question, which is okay, you talked about the resume, you talked about CV, and then reference. Are we putting everything in one PDF, or everything has different, section? And then where is the link exactly that we're applying? Because I saw so many links. I don't know which one is which exactly.
We've not put any link out yet, but
Like
there are
on the
different
chat.
sections. There are different sections for what do we call it, for the different documents. So resume, you upload one document. Transcript, you upload one document. If you have more than one document, because for some people, they would add maybe the certificate, they will add English translations, scan them into one and upload it as one document. But there are different sections for that. In terms of the expression of interest, there would actually be two streams. So there's the general stream and there's the refugee only stream. So if you are not a refugee, apply express your interest through the general stream, and then if you are a refugee, use the refugee only stream. The links would be available on our website from the 30th, and I'm sure it would be circulating all over social media as always. So yeah, they will be available then. Someone is asking, do we look at school rankings? We don't, but if you go to the country requirements, you would see your university and what particular grades are required from your university. So you can check that also from the UBC website. Next person is Mohammed and then Theopista.
Oh yeah, good evening. Thank you very much for the session. So I want to ask a question related to the essay writing. When it is time to write the essay, can we hyperlink, like when writing the essays? So for example, I want to reference an impact factor based on my community service that I've done. Can I hyperlink the section in my essay while submitting, provided that we are going to be submitting the essays in document format, or even though if it is written, can I reference a particular website, probably if the impact factor is being posted in a website or a YouTube video or
Yeah,
those platforms?
so you can, but it's a short, like it's less than 200 words for an essay, I think, or about 200 words. So if it's a long link that's already going to take a chunk of it, you can still use it if you are able to, strategically put it in there. Another way is to use your resume to talk about that. So while I'm talking about this, a lot of times when people present their resumes, they put job descriptions, did this, did that, this is my task. When you are doing resumes, use accomplishment statements. What you accomplish. So you can leverage that to also talk about the impact factor for, different leadership initiatives or leadership roles that you held. So you can also leverage your resume if the essays are short and it doesn't give you time to put so much in there. I hope that answers your question. Theopista, go ahead.
I think,
yes.
Theopista, before you go, Taiwo, are you back? She said she mistakenly
Yes.
left the
Hello.
Zoom because she was trying to unmute. Are you back,
Yes,
Taiwo? Are
I'm
you
back.
able to ask it? Okay, please go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's evening here. All right, so I studied fisheries and aquaculture in school, and going through the website, checking through the schools and the faculties, I can't find anything related to my course. So I checked the second school. I think there are two schools there. I checked the second school, but the link was invalid, something like that. So I don't
Which
know
school do you mean? Do you mean the programs?
the programs. Yeah, the program.
There are people. Oh, okay, so what program were you checking?
Hello,
Hello.
Taiwo. Yes, what program were you checking? What program?
Aquaculture related programs, fisheries and aquaculture.
No, I'm saying out of the 8 program we listed, what one were you checking? Because you have to stick with the 8 we've listed. We don't do any other thing. So use the link to research about the 8 we've listed, or specifically if you're looking at forestry, stick with those. We don't do anything beyond the ones we've listed.
All right. And also, I have a sister that studied, that have a HND degree. I don't know if HND degrees are permitted to apply.
No, it's not permitted. She needs a bachelor's, so she will
degree.
need to top up first. Yeah.
Okay.
Theopista, go ahead.
Hi everyone. So my question is going to be brief.
So I'm asking to know if you are selective about which supervisors, specifically in the forestry faculty, you bring on board for the Masters of Science and also for the Masters of Applied Forestry. Or
I don't know
perhaps
I don't know the supervisors yet. The forestry department will let us know which supervisors are willing to take our scholars, and then once we know the list, we will share it after you've successfully gone through the first round. So that's when we would
okay.
have the list for you.
Right.
Um, Te Temitope?
Yeah, Temitope, please go ahead. Anuligbo, you're next.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I want to ask, last year I applied and I go to the interview stage, myself and my friends, but none of us were able to get in finally into the program. So I want to know if there's a particular way or a particular method of answering the interview questions so that we can actually prepare better for this year.
The friends that made it, what their videos were, if they don't mind to share more with you. But really, it's about answering the question. Some people talk so much, they didn't answer the question we asked. Some also read scripts for us. I think that is just, it also reduces the points you would get if we can see you are reading for us. Another thing is, yeah, some didn't feel authentic. So be authentic, be yourself, smile, be genuine, and seek some of the views of some of your friends who made it through to ask them how they recorded their video, what they did. Yeah, I think that would probably help. Anulugo. Sorry, I
Yeah,
am running through quickly because
Anuligbo,
I
yeah.
think we
So
have
after
like 5 minutes to go.
after Anuligbo, we'll probably only be able to take Favor and Eunice. So Mahad, the rest, please, you need to post your questions in the chat box. We won't be able to get to you. So we'll only be able to take 3 more. So Anulugwo, Favor, and Eunice, and then we are done. So Mahad and the others, please post your questions in the chat box. Anulugwo, you can go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, I graduated with BPharm, like I'm a pharmacist. So I don't know if it's possible that I qualify that if I apply for all of these programs or one of these programs listed, if I stand any chance.
So check the program to see if you qualify. Go through the program, check their requirements. Favor, go ahead.
Favor, are you there? Please unmute and go ahead, or we go to Eunice. All right, Eunice, are you able to unmute and ask your question?
Good evening. I'm so sorry. I was trying to unmute.
Okay, no problem. Go
Okay.
ahead, please.
Good evening. Thank
Good
you.
evening.
So I know when you're talking about for the application, the community development service, you talk about the fact that it should follow a progression. For example, for my community development service, I have a BS in chemistry and I teach secondary school girls. I call it camprenurship, how to start a career with basic chemistry knowledge. And now I want to go for a master's in food science. So my community development service, or what I am doing my service in, doesn't really relate to masters in food science. So my question is, should it actually relate, or if it doesn't relate, do I really stand a chance, or do I have to look for something within that range of charity and gender? Thank you.
I think it does relate. You just have to find how to connect your story, right? Chemistry is already connected to food science. With the masters in food science, what are your goals afterwards? And how does that align to what you are doing within the community or what you hope to do afterwards? So be able to tell your story. Even if, for me, I did accounting and then I went to work in oil and gas, tell the story. Like make sure that there isn't sort of like a blip, like what happened. Even if you pivoted. Tell us why and, how that connects to this new chapter in your life. So I think you would be able to get it all to connect if you want to. It's just a matter of storytelling. I hope
Eunice?
that answers your question. Final person, Eunice, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, please go
Hear
ahead,
me?
Eunice. Yes.
You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Eunice. Go
Um,
ahead.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be part of this session. My first question is, I've studied banking finance from Somalia. So, is there any available of my what I studied for scholarship?
So,
Sorry, I didn't quite get your question.
he said he studied finance. I think he studied finance
I
in
studied
school.
banking finance. Would I
Okay.
get a scholarship of banking finance?
What program?
Master?
No, we don't offer. We only do 8 programs. Stick to that. And then if you're doing banking and finance, is there any of the programs that are connected? And how can you connect banking and finance to what you're applying for? It has to be the 8. If you apply for any, you can apply to UBC for a master's in finance or whatever, but it wouldn't be under the scholarship program. I hope that answers it. So spend some time on our website to really understand what programs you want to do. Mohammed Bashir. No, don't do this. But go look at data science programs as well, because I know sometimes people are able to leverage finance to do data science. You can also look at MFRE because it's very econs heavy. So you can also look at whether or not your background, because I think we've had someone from finance do the MFRE program, which is the Master of Food and Resource Economics. It's very economics heavy. So if economics is also something you're interested in, then that could be a program for you. But yeah, that's it. Guys, I wish we could take so much questions. I think we've answered a lot in the chat and we've also answered quite a lot. So Amadou and Mahad, unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to take your questions. But it's been a real pleasure chatting with all of you and answering your questions. We look forward to reading your applications. My last words is, as you are submitting the application, there is a level of faith you apply in submitting it, and there's a level of diligence and hard work. Make sure you're putting all of that into it as you are submitting your application. Believe in yourself, first of all, that you can get it. I always tell the scholars that make it that everyone is unique in their own way. Tell that story. Tell how unique, tell why you deserve the scholarship over everybody else that is applying, and you can get it. So when you're putting it through, some people are like, let me just submit anything and see. Anything won't get you that scholarship. Put your best foot forward as you are submitting the application and support others. In the past, people create groups, talk about the scholarship together, tips and everything. You can do that. There's so much. If you don't get in this time, you can get in next year. There's so much food at the table for all of us. I know there were 300 people on the call, but the scholarship is taking 391. So see, if we share it, everybody will get some. It will reach everybody's 10. You just have to be, supportive of others and also supportive of yourself. And then hopefully you make it in. I wish you all the best in the application. And yeah, see you hopefully in Vancouver soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Abby. So for those who are asking about the recorded session, please keep checking the website. We're going to have it. We're going to post a link for those who want to watch. The expression of interest will be open on Saturday for those who are interested in applying as well. And for those who are studying programs that are not, like none of our programs qualify, the Mastercard Foundation has scholarships in other universities as well. It's not just UBC. So please maybe spend some time on their website and look at the other schools that offer the scholarship. Maybe they would have the programs that you did in your undergrad. So on behalf of myself and the entire team, thank you so much for joining the info session this evening or afternoon, wherever you're joining from. And we look forward to seeing your expression of interest applications from Saturday. So have a wonderful day and bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.